We're joined here once again with Revitalist CEO Kathryn Walker to discuss the main areas of focus that her team will be working on this year, as well as what investors should be excited about as the new investing year officially kicks off. Kathryn, welcome back and Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Now, I know you're very busy, hence where you are right now. It's one meeting after the other, but we wanted to be able to discuss with you, what your team is up to this year and what investors should be excited about as the new year kicks off. So why don't we start right there? Where do you find the main areas of focus are that your company will be working on as we begin this new year? And what should investors be looking out for from your team?
So I think 2022 is going to be a great time for investors to really understand the depth and value that each of these companies can kind of bring to the surface. So in 2022, we've recognized in 2021, kind of the infrastructures with the new clinics up and rolling. We'll have 10 clinics by the end of January up and running. And it's learning a lot of those techniques and personalities and management and protocols kind of across the board that is going to make businesses either sink or swim. And we've really finalized those processes in 2021 to where now in 2022, we're now coming back around and we're polishing those processes. So we expect nothing but continued growth, not only with additional clinics, but then also with the depth of the organization that we do have. And that's with, constantly bettering our processes, because the psychedelic space is so new. It's so up and coming. It's so exciting. There's such a demand for it to where we don't have the supply yet. So we're working on ways with Revitalist to not only bring a greater supply to meet the demand with all the additional clinics that we're opening, but we're also wanting to bring as much access to individuals as possible. So we're really focusing on a research division in 2022, and we have several projects that we're going to come to fruition with helping with translational medicine. So a lot of individuals don't know necessarily what translational medicine is, and that's kind of what our company does naturally. And it's bringing the research from the labs to people on the ground. So we're doing kind of all of those things. We're able to conduct the research, we're able to utilize it in real time, and we're able to bring it to the communities in order to address a lot of the mental health crisis that we have going on. So that's going to be a very big focus for us this year, especially with all the clinics that we do have open across the nation. Like right now, we'll have 10 across 7 states. And that gives us a diverse population that allows us to do a lot of clinical trials, clinical studies on individuals to help increase access for various conditions, any type of neurologic condition. So that's what we really want to hone in on, utilize our skill sets that we have with all the providers and all the specialists that we have. So that's going to be an additional division that we really focus on this year.
Yeah, very exciting. I appreciate going to detail there and for that definition as well, because I would have been asking you that right afterwards, because that's a one that many investors probably haven't heard before. But you mentioned something there as well, and you're talking about your clinics and an expansion. In mid-December, you announced that you expanded your clinic pipeline to 19 clinics across 11 states, currently in 7 states right now, as you were just saying. Will you maintain the pace of your aggressive expansion plan this year? And have you thought about potentially expanding outside of the U.S. this year as well? Will that be a focus?
Yeah, I do. I mean, so we have Revitaland with the metaverse that we're actually working on with virtual reality and such. And we're working on a virtual clinic aspect. So that will probably be the next step that we're looking at nationwide, kind of being more internationally to where we can reach populations that way. With COVID especially, we've taken that to account with, kind of boots on the ground. How do you increase access? How do you make sure that people still feel safe and all these other things? So we're really pushing the virtual piece too. With clinics going internationally, of course, everything is an option right now because it's just such a wide open landscape. But more so, we're in talks with international talks, really looking at more of the research aspects, the data that we have. We have data since we opened in 2018 on our individuals that we can really help to advance kind of the agenda to help other countries to open clinics as well. So we are in talks internationally. But right now, it's more so trying to figure out, maintaining that focus, but still pushing the team very forward in a diverse but very consistent way. So it's working all the wheels, making sure they all stay on the bus together. So yeah, absolutely. There's potential for 2022 to be all over the world. But right now, yeah, we're working on primarily nationwide in the States, and then looking at the research aspects national and internationally.
Yeah, I can imagine as well, with everything with COVID. We keep having another variant, and it's something that we obviously need to respect, and it may keep people from going into clinics at times. Is that really underscore the emphasis of why Revitaland is going to be a huge aspect to your company? And maybe instead of opening up so aggressively with all these clinics, like I believe there's like 60 by the end of 2023, instead really focusing on Revitaland, where people can be at home in the safety of their home, not have to worry about that sanitation, but still get that care. Is that really making sense now as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. I personally, I think Revitaland. Initially, I thought Revitaland was kind of intimidating. Just the whole metaverse and virtual reality and such. Fortunately, our chief of research has been doing virtual reality in the military since the mid '90s. So we kind of have that expert there who's helping the company that we're working with, MetaChain, to help develop that. But yeah, the more I learn about the virtual reality, the metaverse, the more it makes sense to me, and it makes sense more internationally too, due to, I mean, physically we have regulations, we have different licenses, we have all these things, but then virtually we can still be able to extend that helping hand to someone, maybe in Hong Kong, maybe in Japan, maybe in LA, and we're able to kind of create that unity, that consistency, to where people still do feel that sense of community and connection. And that's really what we want to work on. So yeah, there's a balance of bricks and mortar versus virtual, yes. But I think the core aspect of it all for me and the team that I have is providing the greatest access possible, to try to help bring the greatest care as quickly as possible, because we are very aggressive in our growth and we want to be very aggressive. I want to continue to do this until the mental health crisis goes away, until the pain crisis goes away, because I think that the brain is a very underviewed organ. And I think right now we're just now starting to get to the aspects to where we can make it more objective, and we can look at, actually have real-time interventions and see real-time results. So my whole team, such experts, all around, to where if someone needs a hug, they can give them a hug. If they need it on a ventilator, we'll put you on a ventilator. That's just what we are. That's what we do. So we are kind of the warriors. That's what I tell people a lot of times. Like, we've got the people that are here. They're building this. Saying, come on, we can help you. So yeah, I think there's just, Metaland or Revitaland in the metaverse makes complete sense in COVID world. And it's
Hmm.
very unfortunate. And, we're going to keep getting variants every, probably what, 6 weeks, 6 months. I mean, it seems like this world we've been in for almost 3 years now, and it's very unfortunate. But it's something that we're going to have to adjust to. So we'll adjust accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention, even as it continues, more and more people, unfortunately, will start needing to be focusing on their mental health as this continues to go on for many different reasons. So, all the more reason for your services that you provide and the help that you provide all these people as well. Lastly, I'd like to ask something more on the investor side now, and specifically about your company. With the overall psychedelic medicine sector seeing a pullback in market values over recent months, what do you believe will be the driver of share price appreciation for Revitalist throughout this year?
I think, we had the evaluation of the stock back in the fall, to where it was saying, she should be share or trading for about $1.50 a share. And I think we're still such a baby company in the public space, that people are watching and they're waiting to see, can we keep our word? Things like that. I do think the stocks with the public companies initially, I think that it was more so, that some of the public companies were kind of the lead in that. It gave some type of false inflation to those lead companies, to where, most of them, they have. It's like kind of like everybody's pulled us back to the starting line. and now they're going to let us go and say, okay, well, who has the speed, the depth, the comprehensiveness to really let investors feel heard and feel like, that the funds that they invested in the product are actually going to turn over, and it's going to make our investors feel good. So I do think that 2022 is going to be a great year for psychedelic stock in general. But I think Revitalist, I'm hoping it's going to be 2022. It might be 2023, but it might be in a month. Who knows? Because it's so variable with speeds. But I think Revitalist is going to start pulling away from a lot of these companies. And I don't say that to be, cocky. I say it to be pretty confident. I think that there's skill sets that we do have that are going to make us unique in this space. I think for investors and institutions and big pharmaceutical companies or your neighbor next door, I think they all should be watching this because I think it's going to be something miraculous and amazing to watch all of these bodies that have decades of training and experience that are coming together to make a change. And I think that it's going to be something really exciting to keep watching. So definitely, we tapered down a little bit with a lot of the press releases and stuff over the holidays, intentionally so, because we've got a lot of projects going on that we're focusing on. But those are going to pick up in the next few weeks. People will start seeing them kind of speed off like we were doing back in the fall. So yeah, I'm excited for people to see what we're doing. I think that we do share common vision with the company, and everything that we do is building that common core that we have. So yeah, investors, it's going to be exciting for them to watch. It's going to be exciting for our competition to watch as well, because I think we have a unique edge that other people may not always have right now.
Yeah, no, I do agree as a personal investor in your company as well, and especially at this range right now, in this 20-cent range, it's really found a good floor right now. A lot of our charters or investors out there who are looking at the chart can really see that range is tightening, and all it takes is the right news releases and the right progress from your team to really use that as a launch pad back to where it
Mhm.
once was. So excited for that, excited to see that over the coming weeks and months. But Kathryn, once again, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to being able to speak to you again in the near future, because when we do, it's usually for a good reason. You usually got something to share with the market. So I'm excited for it.
Yes, thanks so much. Glad to be here.